All right, so let's talk about Trump's Retribution arc, his Sulla arc.
They deserve this.
Right.
You know, it's like constant investigations for years, and then even when he's out of office, to get the mugshot, it's like, sorry, you know, if you come at the king, you better not miss.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I remember when someone tried to actually blow his head off.
A couple of times.
Yeah, more than once, right. So Trump seems to be sort of getting his own back, getting his revenge. And it's interesting, there's a number of sort of points or angles to talk about. One, is that really what's happening, or is it actually just real justice beginning to be served? Or is it Trump actually, it's just like a personal retribution thing?
It can be both.
Yeah, I was going to say, but what if it's both?
Well, that was sort of my...
What if these are the one and the same?
Yeah, it could be both. It could well be both. There is sort of a personal, settling personal scores, but also it's just and right.
Yeah.
At the same time to be doing that. Yeah. So it seems that it's being ramped up in the quite recently in the last few days or last week perhaps. Things have really ramped up on that side of things. So the first one to talk about is John Bolton. On Friday, I believe it was, his house and office were raided by the FBI.
Ooh, what for?
Well, it's not entirely clear at this stage, but they're saying it's for potentially
Get that guy.
Potentially sensitive information.
Really, like when they raided Mar-a-Lago for a bunch of irrelevant documents, even though they didn't raid Joe Biden's house for exactly the same thing. Interesting.
Yeah, and we'll actually see. It could well be a bit complicated because the FBI haven't come out and said exactly what they did or didn't find in that raid, and exactly because he hasn't been charged. That's an important thing to say. Bolton himself hasn't been charged with anything criminal yet at this stage, so it's still very early on in the process. But it's great because you know what goes around comes around. Bolton was gloating, really, when Mar-a-Lago got raided.
Yeah, he did.
And so just quick thing to say, if anyone doesn't know, because I saw one or two people on Twitter say, wait, who's John Bolton? So if you're young or you're not American, you may well not know. But so the guy's been around for ages. He's the classic old school swamp monster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around since the Reagan years. He's been relatively important since the original George Bush years. All during the George W. Bush years, he was very important. He was ambassador to the UN. He was sort of, and even when Trump got in Trump's first term, he had him as a sort of foreign policy advisor.
Massive mistake on Trump's part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the appointments in Trump's first term where I thought, ooh, like I thought you said you were going to drain the swamp.
Yeah, what's it
doing
with him?
John Bolton's like an ultimate swamp monster.
Now he's getting raided.
Why have you? But they fell out very quickly. I think it was within a year or two they'd fallen out, and Trump had removed him from sort of the top echelons of government.
But if we on the other side of the Atlantic can realise that he's no friend of yours, why are you hiring him? It makes it all the more an egregious mistake that Trump made it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I can see one of the arguments is that he was new to government. And he wanted like a safe pair of hands, so people here and there that he knew the job inside out. I mean, it's a bit of a weak argument,
but also
it's an argument.
Remember that in 2017, Trump wanted to be a reconciler, right? Yeah, remember that Trump wanted to essentially like right the ship of state and like get them back on the correct path. Turns out that wasn't possible, and you have to actually purge and crush them completely. And Trump learned that the hard way, frankly.
Like the idea that Hillary should be put in prison, lock her up, and all that, and then almost literally on day one, it was like, no, I'm not going to. So.
Exactly. He was trying to be collegial about it, frankly.
Yeah.
Which he shouldn't.
So in the end, I mean, so I really, really hate John Bolton. I really, really hate him.
A lot of people do.
He's like one of the most egregious, aggressive neocons that ever was. Yeah. If he could choose to have forever wars, he would. He's one of
like
those
the
guys.
eldritch god of neoconservatism.
Well, calm down. Lindsey Graham's still alive.
That's true. He's got competition.
Yeah.
A lot of Americans, particularly MAGA Americans, hate the forever war thing.
Yeah.
And so he's the classic. He's like the embodiment. It's almost the personification of like the forever war. In fact, I've got a clip of Trump late in a minute saying that when he would walk in a room with foreign leaders and John Bolton come in behind him, like the foreign leaders would literally like stiffen up and be like, oh, he's got John Bolton with him, like, are we going to get bombed?
Yeah.
in the next 15 minutes. He's almost that bad. He was
Angel of death. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I hate it. I really hate it. A lot of Americans hate him as well. Where I say, more, in fact, before now I've tweeted about John Bolton, and you hear for a lot of Americans saying, "Yeah, we hate him. We hate him." So, and the thing is, on top of everything else, apart from being like an ultimate war hawk, a super hawk, he's also really obnoxious. Like, just personally, he's just really annoying. I know that shouldn't really count for a great deal, but it does, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Someone's very, very...
Yeah.
It speaks to their characters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not only
it's
is he
horrible.
evil, but he's annoying.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, a double crime.
Yeah.
So he and Trump fell out, and so and then they're sort of sniping at each other, like John Bolton saying, and this is years back, this is like in 2020 and before even, so calling him stupid, Bolton calling Trump just like stupid. He's not presidential, he's not worthy of the office, all that sort of thing. And Trump hitting back saying he's a nobody, he's a washed up nobody, all these sorts of things. So they're sniping at each other. And then when Trump, in the Biden years, when Trump was out of power, John Bolton, doing things like he's on the side of the Democrats, because he's a Republican, like he's a Reagan,
Loads
George
of them
Bush,
went over to the Dems.
George W. Bush hardline Republican. However, where he's like against Trump for a window there, the Democrats sort of adopt him to some degree.
There are loads of, like, I mean, see them with George W. Bush being like, "Oh, this is what a real Republican president's like." So you're our enemies, like, and you're like, "Yeah, George W. Bush was really a good guy." Like, didn't Stephen Colbert try to rehabilitate him and stuff like this? It's like what you were the primary critic of these people when they were in office. Like, so what the hell are you doing? Anyway,
yeah, the Dems will take on board anyone that is anti-Trump, even if they were like
the bombing Iraq people.
Staunch, yeah.
It just strikes me as trying to soften the narrative from the MAGA people, isn't it? It's trying to say, listen, maybe you should be more like this, which isn't going to work.
But what it does is it just draws a really nice sharp line between the old guard and the new guard.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it's a tactical mistake.
Exactly, it's a complete tactical mistake. But anyway.
So he wrote a book called, what was it called? The Room Where It Happened. And that was all to do with, the attempt to impeach Trump. They keep calling it the impeachment or the first impeachment. No, he wasn't impeached.
No,
they tried to, and it failed.
The failed impeachment.
Yeah, they should call it that. Anyway, he wrote a book about that, and some have alleged that there was it was rushed through the clearance process, and that there were perhaps sensitive things that shouldn't have been released in that. But nonetheless, when that was investigated during the Biden years, Biden just closed it down, closed down that investigation, and this whole time, John Bolton was still got his like clearance level, so he's still got access to like really high level sensitive information. So anyway, when Trump got back in 2024, Trump has decided now, obviously, that he's going to do something about it. So this raid happens. Now Trump himself has said, "I know nothing about it. I didn't personally order it."
There's a reason I put my guys in charge of the FBI.
Right? Yeah.
I don't have to deal with it then.
Yeah, I don't have to tell Pam Bondi or Kash Patel to do these things. They just they know my mind. Yeah, it's the classic thing, a bit like Nixon. It's like I never actually ordered anyone specifically to make like the plumber unit and go and break into like a psychiatrist's office or the Democratic
I assume that
offices.
these guys aren't doing anything that's not legal.
It's just my minions knew what I would like or what I wanted. They got it wrong in Nixon's case, but it's a whole different kettle of fish. Anyway, Trump didn't personally order this to happen, and he doesn't want to say, "I don't even want to know about it. I'm letting the DOJ and the FBI do their thing." So again, those that are in the know say that it should be, in the normal course of events, quite soon after a raid, if the FBI decide, because they have to go through a judge. It's not just Kash Patel saying, "Raid John Bolton." It's a bit more complicated than that. They have to go through a judge to sign off on it.
Shockingly, there is a legal process.
Right. So usually the FBI will, if they're going to then press charges against John Bolton, i.e. if they do have found any sort of sensitive information he shouldn't have had, then they should bring charges relatively quickly. But we'll see about that. Now, another thing that the FBI is saying is that, because at first, when this news first broke, they were saying, "Oh, this is to do with that book he wrote, and to do with sort of a story we already know about, the one that Biden shut down years ago." But the FBI have come out and said, no, it's nothing to do with that. This is entirely new. Oh. This is an entirely new thing to do with perhaps even like the Espionage Act. Suggestion that maybe maybe, we don't know yet, so this is conjecture, maybe he's got like a thumbnail drive that he shouldn't have had, or maybe he even emailed members of his own family with sensitive information, which is not allowed. We'll
Maybe
see.
he's a foreign
We'll
actor.
see. Yeah, or even if he was selling, like sensitive information to whoever.
Probably the Chinese.
Whoever. It may be that he's done nothing wrong. We just don't know exactly at this stage. But the point is that the DOJ and the FBI did raid his house. So they wouldn't do that, usually, not always. They usually wouldn't do that unless they think there's something there.
This is a pretty drastic thing to do.
Americans have got this really annoying phrase at the moment. They say, is there anything there? Have you seen them say that?
I haven't seen them.
Ugh, I hate it.
I mean, is there anything there, though?
No, but that's not what they're saying.
Oh,
They're
okay.
saying,
You don't even need the
there?
second there.
Yeah.
I know.
The first one
Well,
worked.
this is like them
Anyway,
saying hold down the fort. It's like forts don't just fly up into the air. You need to hold the fort from the enemy getting into the fort. You don't need to hold it down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we won't continue to criticize our American friends.
Like saying I could care less.
Yeah, no, you couldn't.
When they mean they couldn't care less. Yeah. Anyway, that's an aside. Okay, so FBI. Let's have a look at some of the other links just to show that it is sort of everyone's talking about it at the moment because John Bolton, FBI, Trump took away his clearance a few months ago.
Sensible.
Why should he have it for all time?
There's no particular reason, is there?
And okay, so one of the angles to talk about is
weaponization of FBI against Patel's gangsters list. Yeah, great. Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history? You should know, because you encounter them every day. Between the towering buildings of a fallen empire, we find the Fellahin, the historyless men, who know nothing of the turning of the cosmic wheel and find themselves outside of civilization itself. Cut loose from the great chain of being, they represent the loam into which our dying culture will return. That is, unless we choose to take up the burden once again. This Fellahin condition is the subject we explore in issue 4 of Islander magazine, on sale while stocks last and available worldwide at shop.lotuseaters.com.
also the next angle to talk about is this slide into lawfare and counter lawfare.
Yeah, they started it.
Right.
Oh no, I'm sewing. This sucks. You get what you deserve. You shouldn't have started it.
It did start under. I've even seen some people at CNN or MSNBC admit that it did start under Biden. Like it definitely did start under Biden.
Deny it.
The worry is, although I'm here for it when it's outside doing it, when it's Trump doing it against someone like John Bolton, or like Brennan or someone, I'm here for it. But there will be a change of government again. I mean, I even saw Pete Buttigieg on stage explicitly saying, when we're back in power, we're going to run this thing till the wheels fall off. Like, when we're back in power, we're going to do this, like, dialed up to 11.
Like you did the first time. So, I'm sorry, this is how republics end, but, like,
well,
you started it. You can't just let them get away with it.
That is the worry.
This is why it spirals out of control.
But it has been going on... Oh, sorry.
No, go, you go.
It has been going on for a long time. It's just that it's much more visible now in that...
It's happening to them. That's what it is.
Even in the time of, say, Bill Clinton, he was getting things brought to him, wasn't he? So it's not necessarily a recent move, and I think it's just that people are more accepting of it existing and therefore more inclined to admit to it than otherwise.
It's a good point, actually. It didn't start under Biden. You can go back to... I mentioned Nixon a minute ago, didn't you? You can go back to Nixon where his political enemies realised, we can get him legally. We can get him in a bind legally here. Let's do it. Let's really go for it. Everything we can do to do it. Yeah, Bill Clinton, his political enemy, is doing everything they possibly can. So it didn't actually start with Biden, but dialed up massively under Biden. And like where there's nothing there in the first place, right? There was some questions to answer for Nixon. There was some questions to answer for Bill Clinton. Even if it's only like perjury and things, there was something to answer. But for Trump, like truly, pun intended, trumped up charges. Right, so
Russiagate, yeah.
Well, I mean,
the
no
Russiagate
evidence.
hoax.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing came, and then you've got the sort of localized ones, like New York Attorney General trying to liquidate his businesses and things like this. Like, look, we know you guys are going way too far, and the reaction from just the New York businessman community have been like, oh no, has he done something wrong here? Because we were all doing that. It's like, yeah, it's not. It's purely political.
Letitia James, I'll come to her in a moment.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
in the interest
absolutely.
of time, we might need to step it up a bit.
Yeah, sure. I was just going to say one final point then on like the fall of the Republic thing.
Yeah.
That is a bit worrying because once that genie's out of the bottle with that, once the seal is broken on that, it's very, very difficult to go backwards.
I don't know. I think Sulla didn't do it quite right, and I think this time Donald Trump can Sulla it properly.
Go full Sulla. Let's actually hear from the Donald himself when he was asked about this. Oh, let's...
No, I don't know about it. I saw it on television this morning. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. He's a real sort of a lowlife. When I hired him, he served a good purpose because, as you know, he was one of the people that forced Bush to do the ridiculous bombings in the Middle East. Bolton, he wants to always kill people, and he's very bad at what he does. But he worked out great for me because every time he doesn't talk, he's like a very quiet person, except on television. If he could say something bad about Trump, he'll always do that. But he really doesn't talk. He's quiet. And I'd walk into a room with him with a foreign country, and the foreign country would give me everything because they said, oh no, they're going to get blown up because John Bolton's there. He's not a smart guy, but he could be a very unpatriotic guy. I mean, we're going to find out. I know nothing about it. I just saw it this morning. They did a raid.
Do you expect the DOJ to brief you on this?
Yeah, they'll brief me. Probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister...
I don't want to, I tell Pam and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but just, you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer.
I can only hope...
Oh, sorry. So,
Trump's busy.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it's just sort of the tip of the iceberg because it's not just John Bolton. He's gone after...
Shifty Schiff.
Yeah. Shifty Schiff, yeah. On sort of mortgage fraud, which is...
If that's how you got to take down a cartel, that's how you take down a cartel. You know what?
Classically, they got Al Capone on just sort of tax evasion, wasn't it? Something like that. You can get people on, if you really want to, you can get them on a technicality.
You can be a gangster, but for goodness sake, you've got to pay your taxes.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's about what you can actually prove, though, right? Because if no one's going to testify because Al Capone's running guns and alcohol, whatever it was, but you know, if you can get him on mortgage fraud, it's not something that you can't not prove.
It's the classic thing. It's like I don't actually know if Adam Schiff is guilty of any of these things.
No, of course not.
And both sides, like the left is screeching that this is just this is like a extrajudicial Sulla type tyranny happening before your very eyes, and people on the right saying no, he is actually guilty of something. He is actually. That's where I am with John Bolton. It's like I wait to see what happens, watch your space. But no, wait, it's important if he did actually break espionage laws or not, because if he did, then this is simply justice.
Yeah, but you remember that the Democrats declare themselves to be the good guys, and so they can just do whatever the hell they like,
right?
Which is genuinely how they think.
Yeah. Yeah, so Skiff is in all sorts of trouble. But also Letitia James. Now, it is like, it does feel...
do it.
That there's an element of Trump getting his revenge.
Good.
But, like, is it not correct, though?
She was particularly unreasonable in everything that she was doing as well.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
Just,
God, yeah.
I mean, I won't relitigate it, but, like, just, she deserved it.
Yeah.
She deserves this.
And I think they're trying to get her on similar things.
Good.
Sort of mortgage stuff.
I can't believe she's not corrupt.
Not to sound too Machiavellian here, but it's just nice to see someone try to crush their enemies. It seems like the done thing in my idea is that you don't allow your enemies to have advantages over you if you have the choice.
Yeah. There's this idea that it's sort of only banana republics actually go after their political enemies in any real way. Like, no.
It's the same thing as corruption, isn't it? We've just legalised it.
Well, that's exactly what it is. If you're not going to prosecute these people, it is legalised corruption. So if they've done something wrong, they should be prosecuted.
No, it should be that no one's above the law.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't see us going, oh no, they're prosecuting, whatever, I can't remember who it was now. There was some Trump guy who'd done something wrong. He ended up going to jail for like 3 years or something. It wasn't Steve Bannon, it was someone else. But no, it wasn't Bannon. Bannon looked genuinely political. But there was one guy, and you didn't see us defending him. Okay, he'd like, I don't know, mortgage.
Is it a campaign funds thing?
Yeah,
I
something like that.
vaguely
Yeah.
remember something like that.
It's like, okay, if you have him on a legal technicality, then he should have known better and shouldn't have done it. Send him to jail, whatever. I don't care. You know, that's keep your nose clean.
Look how hard they went after Bannon, which wasn't fair.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Roger Stone.
Yeah,
Or
another one, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'll quickly run through it. And the last few points to say is that it's even more than that. It's not just Letitia James, Skiff, and Bannon. It's a whole bunch of people. So, like, recently he got Hegseth to remove the head of DIA, the Defence Intelligence Agency,
Really?
which is like up there with the NSA, the CIA. It's a Pentagon guy, like super important in the intelligence services. Trump wasn't happy with him, so just got rid of him, along with the head of Naval Special Warfare Command. Like, again, really important people at the Pentagon, just swapping them out.
Clear out their guys, get your guys in.
And some people saying this is sort of beyond the pale, he's just surrounding himself with yes men, and other people saying, no, it's the right thing to do. We'll see. I mean, history really will be the judge of that. But there's loads more besides. I mean, I mentioned Roger Stone a moment ago. He'd said that this whole thing with John Bolton is the tip of the iceberg. It's the whole rotten edifice. This is just the whole rotten edifice. The only reason they're going after him right now is because of statute of limitations. Yep. And he's called the seditious conspiracy to engage in treason. Includes, it goes all the way to the top: Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Susan Rice, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Robert Mueller himself, Andrew Wiseman, Senator Richard Blumenthal, Lindsey Graham, the whole lot of them. And that various people are saying, like Matt Taibbi and Roger Stone, people like that, saying this isn't going to stop. It's going to keep going. They're going to go after, include like people like John Brennan.
If I were to create a list, draw up a list of people who are basically the architects of the problem that the United States faces, well, that would sound a lot like that.
Yeah. Right, so it's actually cleaning the swamp a bit, beginning to really
it's a lot of the swamp there.
Yeah, beginning to actually do it.
Like the heads of the Hydra, basically. The rest of it hopefully will drain out on its own accord.
The last thing to say, very, very last thing to say, is that people like Obama and Biden will probably we'll never see the inside of a cell. Sure. I mean, Biden will probably be dead soon. Yeah. But a lot of the others, just with the best will in the world, the dude's not got long for this world.
Yeah, I think so.
But a lot of the other people, right, that they may well be forced to answer for their lies and their crimes. So we shall see.
Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history? You should know, because you encounter them every day. Between the towering buildings of a fallen empire, we find the Fellahin, the historyless men, who know nothing of the turning of the cosmic wheel and find themselves outside of civilization itself. Cut loose from the great chain of being, they represent the loam into which our dying culture will return. That is, unless we choose to take up the burden once again. This Fellahin condition is the subject we explore in issue 4 of Islander magazine, on sale while stocks last and available worldwide at shop.lotuseaters.com.